Welcome to our tutorial on working with multiple scholarly sources. This is an important research skill because knowledge emerges from the back and forth scholarly conversations that take place between people studying the same topic. When you have multiple sources you can compare, you will be better able to evaluate the various aspects of each of your sources by understanding them as part of a larger scholarly conversation. Sources with profoundly different findings might nonetheless draw on similar bodies of literature, ask similar questions, use similar methods, or even use the same evidence. Conversely, sources with similar findings might be working in different traditions or approach the topic with different interests and research designs. Ask yourself the following important questions to help you. First, consider the authority and influence of the different creators and of the articles themselves. It is often useful to consider which journals have the highest impact among scholars looking at this topic. Which authors are most widely cited in the scholarly conversation, and in what contexts are they cited? Keep in mind that occasionally controversial work of lower quality will be widely cited as a kind of foil to an emerging scholarly consensus. Next, consider where questions asked in the sources you are working with fit into the scholarly conversation. What are the overarching questions that many scholars are interested in? How do different authors present the current state of scholarly knowledge, identify a problem or gap, and respond to it? Are there some authors who do not seem to engage with the main currents? Then, try grouping the claims that scholars make. Since there may be more than one way to group the claims together, try doing this a few different ways. See if you can determine how the claims the scholars make fit into a larger socio-cultural, political, or scholarly context, and how different scholars agree with, qualify, or disagree with the other scholarly work in the field. Another way to put your sources in conversation is to consider the research methods and evidence used by scholars examining your topic. Which methods are widely accepted and used in the field? If some scholars are using unusual methods, how do they compare and contrast with the major trends? Now look at the evidence presented by different scholars and try to categorize this evidence by type and quality. When comparing your pieces, is it possible to identify shortcomings in any of them? And if so, could methods used by other scholars help to address those shortcomings? Likewise, could the strengths of this author's method help to fill a gap in another source or in the field in general? Remember that gaps or shortcomings do not make a source unusable. See them instead as opportunities to improve the scholarly understanding of your topic. Finally, consider the interpretations of evidence accepted by authors looking at similar evidence. While identifying overarching similarities will be helpful, also spend some time thinking about the small differences between your sources. Being able to recognize and present these multiple perspectives will make your own participation in the scholarly conversation more robust and substantial. Being able to identify the ways in which your sources communicate with one another, whether explicitly or implicitly, is an important part of scholarly research. This knowledge will be essential when it comes to organizing your sources in your writing.